Hey, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Today is the weekly color. I have 2 pages to talk about and 2 sets of pencils. I am planning ahead because of having company come. So this is on Saturday. I am filming the daily color a day early because I'm going to be doing a bunch of videos today and tomorrow so that I hopefully can flesh out the whole week, though not every day might be a daily color day. So let's talk about what we did, I did, and talk about my thoughts with coloring in the coloring book. Again, just to reiterate, this is my first coloring book I have ever colored in. I have colored lots of pages and done lots of my own art using colored pencils over the years, and I love to organize and swatch. I think that's probably one of my favorite things about both paper crafting and coloring is there's a lot of small items that need to be carefully curated and kept track of, and that's just something I really love to do. So this is a perfect little book. I thought would be a great jumping off point for me to explore actually coloring in a coloring book. So we've already gone through these introductory pages. I'm just going to talk about any of the leftover items. Because I am new to this, there are certain little embellishments or finishing touches that I am holding off on, and as I decide to take action on them for these pages that I've already gone through in a weekly color, I will still revisit them. So I still want to come up with a nice glitter color to do this circle. I am toying with finishing the blue kind of nesting, modeled looking background using a blender pen. I've done all the other finishing touches, like I've done the glaze on this butterfly. Actually, all of the butterflies have glaze, and I have not colored the stars. That was the other thing I was considering doing, and I do think that is just, I don't feel any surface. I was going to do a glaze color on those. And then I have little sparkles on the bubbles and sparkles on the wings of the butterflies. So this one's pretty simple. We'll see if I come back to it and do any of the additional changes that I am talking about. I feel I am done with this page. It was a great experience. I loved mixing the 4 sets. That was great. But I don't think it needs anything else. I haven't embellished this at all. I just think it's very sweet and whimsical looking. Loved how the macarons worked and the wonderful rainbow effect of the big flowers. So not even thinking of doing a background, so this one's probably done. Now we're getting into the area. I'm seeing some transfer of the color from this side over. So we'll see if I end up going with a glassine sheet on every page, because you'll see for these 2 pages, which were, so these are 2 weeks ago, and this was last week's weekly color projects. I just finished 2 pages. I might have included this. This might have been included in last week's. So I've got my glassine. It's folded. It's ready to go. I don't know what other people use, and I appreciate the comments. You guys have been leaving comments for me. Keep them coming. I love to hear what you guys have to say. And being new to this, the input is much appreciated. So the moths were good. I just did minimal white, nothing else. I may come back. The centers of the flowers could have a little bling, I would think. But other than that, I think this one is definitely finished, and I loved how the pencils worked. These were the Castle Arts Gold that I haven't even swatched. The only swatch I had to work from was, oh, and they're the ones that I'm going to do the next detailed walkthrough of. So I did manage to find a sort order that I liked. I went with Coloring Bliss's sort order for them. It was great. It's the first sort order that all of the browns, but a very few, were actually mixed into their color tone of their color family that they belong to, which is my preferred style. I don't like having to dig through like 10 to 15 browns, knowing that one has a red tint, one has a yellow tint, one has a green tint, and that. So it was wonderful. My pencils are sorted. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and get the swatching done. So this is one of the projects that I will share at the time where I do my detailed walkthrough. Moving on to what we already talked about here. Again, I only did white, and these are Evazar and the Kalour pastel tints, and this was a lot of fun to do. New stuff. So this is what I've worked on this week. I have finished the butterfly. The only thing I have left to commit to I will talk about in a minute. So the 4 trucks were great. I want to share with you my mock-up. I am now to the point in coloring that doing a mock-up helps me be more efficient. For the very first moths, I did not do a mock-up, and I don't believe I did a mock-up of this because I don't see it anywhere, but I might have put it away. But definitely after the moths, I realized that I will be too slow, and I don't want to bore anybody. So I'm going to take the glassine away because I want to share what my finishing touches were on the trucks page. So on these trucks, I did silver with you guys, and that's these silver. Hopefully I'm getting the glinting of them for you. I also snuck in, I found a sort of glossy accents. It's a Stampin' Up product called Shimmer Effects, and it has sparkles. So I made the aquarium 3D. You can feel the glossiness. And then down here on the bottom, I did not share that I put silver on the tops of the bottles. I think I did go ahead and color the bumper lights and the door handle with you guys, but I have since added the silver for the jars, and I also did the Shimmer Effects 3D clear on all 6 of the candy jars, and so that was kind of fun. I like that the way the coloring in the books go is I get to utilize some of my paper crafting supplies. The next idea that I might at some point implement, but not on the trucks page, is I have sheets and sheets of adhesive backed sequins, which are pretty flat, and it might be fun to see about, you could see them maybe on a large flower center or something. I don't want to overdo my paper crafting crossing over to coloring, but I think sequins might be a fun thing to add. And I have lots of sequins that are just in jars in different colors that don't have the adhesive backing. So that is something. I stuck with the colors as I mocked up the trucks, but I noticed I didn't do very many of the blends. I did check, here's all I had to check, was that the aqua and purple blended together. And on this truck, I actually ended up putting the blue in between the aqua and the purple, and that made a nice continuous blend. So I don't know what my favorite truck is, because I did the 3D effects on the octopus and the aquarium truck, as I call it, versus the candy truck. I like both of those, but I have to say, I think I'm gonna like this one the best. Right here, the chocolate one. I just really think that's cute. And I did take these doodle markers. I did not use, and then I did put clear glaze. So I wasn't happy with the red glaze. So instead I took a red marker and then put clear glaze over the top. So I'm not sure if you guys can see that. It's all very, very small, but there's the sheen from the glaze. But I like them all. They were all very fun. Moving on to the butterfly, which is actually the second episode is going to drop today, but by the time you watch this weekly, you will already have seen that. The colors and decisions, I had said in the episode, the second episode where I finished, I had some different mock-ups that I had Hub help me decide. And here it is. I decided to wait because I had used up all of my time. Here is where I mixed a dark blue lightly, then went over with the teal. Thought that came out too dark, but I continued it on down into the bottom. It looks like I even did a lighter version of the blue. And on the right, which is what I decided to do mostly, I did some shadowing. You can see shadows, and the shadows I did with these two colors. These are the Maries that you cannot get from Amazon, so there won't be an Amazon shop list that has these in it. I got them from Temu. They were very inexpensive, and they are still available, and I think they're about $33 right now. 095 is the dark blue, and 061 is the color of aquamarine. So I did a very close, thin outline for my shadow in the navy blue. Then I went back around with a little bit wider shading of the aquamarine color. I have not colored in the body of the butterfly yet. But on the original, I have actually added some shimmer and glaze. So now let's look at what I have done. I've also, if you look carefully, I have taken an eraser. I want these petal type shaped edges of the wings to look rounded, like scalloped, with some dimension. So I went ahead and erased along the top of all 6 on both sides. Here's you can see where I did the navy blue and the 61, which is the one darker. So this background that I colored the butterfly with is the lightest version of that aquamarine, and then the color that I outlined with is one darker. You can see, oops, looks like, so here's all my dots of the shimmer. And I don't have the shimmer. Yes, I do have a shimmer here. I own 2 of them. So I did not complete this particular plant. So then I took, I have to remember that that is wet. This flower on both sides has a little shimmer. Both of these have shimmer. Oh, it looks like I might have not gotten the bottom of either of these lower plants. The Maries were a really fun pencil to work with. I'm going to share with you now after I finish showing you the finishing. My finishing touches, I will let you see. So the middles of all of the small purple flowers is now yellow glaze on the top here as well. And then my last thing to do, I have this pencil out. This is the 061, which is one darker, the very lightest aquamarine color. That's the body of the butterfly is 060. So 061, I was just going to lightly darken along the lines here to enhance the appearance of the scallop look, making these look actually 3D curved is my goal. So if you do end up getting the Maries, one of the things that intrigued me the most about them was their storage that they came in. It has an image, one of the images, the marketing images, shows them stacked so that you can see there's 6 trays, but you can stack them so you can see parts of the pencils of all 6. So I was determined, so you can see that that side has a way more interesting 3D look than this side, which I have not colored yet. So I'm going to go ahead and go over here. And it's not even that I'm coloring a lot. It's very subtle, very soft. Then my last thing to consider doing with these wings is to smooth them out with a blender pencil. But I'm going to hold off on that and just move on from this page. And I might go back. I figure as I get more experienced with the fun things that you can do, like the finishing touches, that I might go back and do some additional work on these images. I could maybe work on some backgrounds. I'm not sure how well these pages take to a wet treatment versus a dry treatment. And I'm just not comfortable yet taking a gamble. All right, so that was all I wanted to do to finish this one up. And then the body is probably going to be some dark neutral color, maybe some shading, not sure yet. So I will hold off on that in the interest of time. And then in addition to the variety of different ways to finish the wings, of which you will notice when I did the final version, I didn't even shade in under this green because I found that my goal again was to make the colors pop like the World of Warcraft game colors do, and this actually muted that, and definitely the left side also muted and did not help me achieve my goal. I did change the colors of the larger flowers. I made them violet on my mock-up, and I switched to the pink range of colors rather than the violet because I wanted it to pop. And instead I made the middle daisy-like flower the violet, and I think that that's very vibrant and I love it. Then at the bottom of this page I did a whole bunch of gradients, and that was a lot of fun picking out how many. I like to do 4 or more when I do my gradients, but again, these are very small areas, so sometimes it's overkill. And in some cases, like I did the yellow all the way to the brown, and the first 3 I used in the middles of some of the flowers, and then the orange to brown I used in the middles of the larger centers of flowers. So before we move away from this, I want to do a quick reveal. Let's talk about first the pencils in this case. These pencils are my Kalours. And again, this kit came, it's a 120, it comes in a tube. It's usually on sale for around $20. And it comes with a colorless blender and a white gel pen, which I have not used, as well as a sharpener that's not in here. What I really liked about this whole case and how I fixed it up is I made sure to do those strips. They come out and they actually have the color number and the color colored on it, and it makes it really easy for me to put away pencils after I've used them. I love that I can see the name and the number, but I would have preferred not to have it be silver. I just would have loved white because it's still, there's some glare issues. And this was the set of pencils that I used to complete the truck. The trucks, I guess, plural. So Kalour is for the trucks, and I have not even labeled the butterfly yet. Most people say that they don't label all those details in their book. They have like a log or like probably a diary, and they just put a little note of some significant way to get to the logbook, maybe by the date. I am still writing in the books just because it's easy for me as an easy reference. I am not being consistent how I write. I see I wrote in black pen, and then on the other pages I wrote in pencil. So I'm just not so consistent on that right now. I guess it's more important to me that I consistently color. All right, so I'm going to move you guys back because I want to let you guys have a better look. Sorry for all the shaking. So this has a cardboard box that it fits in. The ends have a labeling system. I have put a free download to these labels, and I linked both of the butterflies will have a link on the end to the storage, so that if you want to, if you happen to get these, you can go ahead and get the downloads. And I did 2 labels. One is very simple. If I hold these again, I labeled each tray. Oh, it's 7 trays, 1 through 7. And there's sections of 6 pencils per section. And I went ahead and when I did the numbering system, I actually note where the channel separators are between the 6s. And they are in color family order. I did not alter them. You can see, and then I have to share my favorite thing. You know, I have a whole bunch of these. I own like 10 sets of these round tray pencil holders, or actually you can use them for brushes and markers as well. And then I have a 6-inch round Lazy Susan that sits on my side table next to my recliner. So I only have one that has because I got 2 Lazy Susans. One of them is adhered with double back tape. So when I'm working on these, right now I have 4 of these full of pencils. That way I can just move to the next page and I don't have to waste time putting pencils away until I have time. So these pencils are done and need to be put away. I showed you the last thing I wanted to do with the wings. And then I was just going to share, you can see how the colors of these are very beautiful, and the matching barrels, they don't match very well, I will tell you that. So that is a frustration. If you look at, if I just grab a set of 4, you can see that they don't even look like they're light to dark. It goes light, dark, but when they're together, they actually flow. So you can, you can trust the ends better than you, or the pigments better than you can the barrel color. But they still are a beautiful feeling and looking pencil. They are quite nice. Very nice to color with. Here's all the greens, a bazillion greens, because the greens start over here, and I have some out. Then we get into the darks and the browns, which, I wouldn't have minded if I had more time. I would have maybe put the colors of the browns and mixed them in, but I just went with, and then the last tray is all skin tone, which is wonderful. All the lights to the darks. So, very fun week of coloring. And next week I will have already pre-colored for most of the week, and we'll see how far I get. I hope I still will have some downtime where I can color. I just don't know if it will be in the recliner or if I need to relocate to a different location, given that we're going to be staying out in our trailer. We have a 5th wheel still that we used to live in full time. So that is quite like home for us. And so we will be staying there so that my parents can have the run of the house and they can just be comfortable and hang out. We're just right underneath the port, right outside the back door. So we are very close by. So that's the end of the weekly color. And you will be seeing me doing some coloring real soon. Everybody take care, and we'll talk to you later.